Alrighty. Hello guys. Thanks for joining us again for another episode of the Football Fan Zone. My name is Emmanuel Odueme. I'm back again this week after my absence this last few weeks or last week. It's glad to be back again with the boys. The Adams is here. Uzo is here. Before I come to you guys, yeah. Okay, let me come to you guys. Uzo, how are you doing?
Yeah, doing good. Glad to have you back, Pius. It's been mayhem since you left. This guy takes more off days,
Yeah,
than man
man.
like Rich James. I don't know, man. When's that? No that you stand Rich James so much. You guys have the same availability
Ah,
schedule.
wow. Okay.
Pius, we drop one 10 out of 10 episode, and you're gonna rest for 3 weeks. I don't
No,
I
we
don't
need to.
know
We
I
need
don't know
to.
what I don't know what agreement is in your contract, but I need to go and meet Adams and restructure my whole contract. So I need the same amount of vacation time.
No, I'm so sorry, guys. Things unexpected, events and all that. Yeah, but
Yeah,
good
no,
to
but
be
it's,
back.
it's
Good to
good
be
to
back.
have you back, though. It's good to be back as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Thanks. So, a lot to get into. Can't wait. The Adams, how are you doing, boss?
Doing great, man. Doing great. Like Uzo said, man, good to have you back. We need to check out that PTO thing you have in your contract, man. You can't be going on an
No worries.
unexpected.
Pius,
Yeah,
you
back at.
already work from home. How can you have all this PTO on top of being work from home?
I'm so
It's,
sorry. No more of that anymore. I'm gonna try and
Yeah, we need to put him on a 360 deal, man. Slave
yeah, man.
contract. We're going to
it's
we're
still
going to
con
work you until you drop.
over time. Yeah, I understand. I'll take it. I'll take it. Yeah. That's fine. Okay. Let's get cracking. I think so. Yesterday we saw I think the final game of the English football season, the FA Cup final, the oldest. They say it's the oldest cup competition in the world. Between Manchester United and Manchester City, a Manchester derby, and surprisingly, against all odds, we saw Manchester United come out victorious in that game. And before I come to you guys, the game had some sort of ripple or trickle down effect. So it ended up. I'm sure Manchester United fans will be feeling like, wow. After maybe their season wasn't as bad as they thought. It's just funny how one game can change everything. So that result meant Chelsea got knocked down to the Conference League, and I think it totally kicked out Newcastle from any sort of European football at as in in all its entirety. So it was a good whammy effect for Manchester United fans as well. So they ended the season in eighth position with the FA Cup, triumph to their name. So okay, let's talk about the game first of all. So let me come to you first. I don't know if you saw the game. What was your takeaway from the game? I'm sure you were surprised. I'm sure before the game you'd have been predicting a Man City win. A Man City win. So what happened? What do you think happened in that game? Was it uh, a mixture of City were poor on the day, or Manchester United got their tactics spot on? What was your analysis?
Yeah, definitely not shying away from it. I would have predicted a City win. I don't think we actually got around to the predictions for FA Cup on the last episode, but yeah, I would have predicted a routine Manchester City win, and I was a bit surprised with the way the game turned out. I know United had a lot of players back um, from injury, so the likes of Rashford and Bruno. I know Bruno played the last 2 games of the season, but in terms of like prime time, we hadn't seen him. I think he missed the Arsenal game and the Palace game. So yeah, Bruno was back in the team. Rashford, Lissandro, um, and it's clear it made a difference. I thought that the way that United set up was, I mean, as predicted. I'm hearing a lot of people say tactical masterclass, and this is where, like I was telling Adams on the last episode, the the um the destination is what justifies the route that you choose that you take to get there. The end always justifies the means in this sport that we love. Like the way that people analyze things is so funny. Because if City get that penalty call in the first few minutes of the game and go on to blitz them 4-5-0. It's they sat back, they were too negative, whoop-de-woo. But they stayed in the game. They defended resolutely. I thought City were very lethargic, slow, very indecisive in terms of their actions going forward. And United capitalized on a howler of a mistake. Let's be real, a howler of a mistake. And they went on to rightfully win the game. And I thought, like, from when they scored, they sort of always looked in control of the game, even out of possession. Like, as soon as they got that first goal, it felt like they were comfortable conceding possession to City, and they seemed to always have them where they wanted them. And yeah, they rightfully went on to win the game. I don't think that it was anything spectacular from United's perspective. I thought that City were just poor on the day, and honestly, I've been saying, I think pretty much all season, I think this is the worst Man City side that we've seen in a long time on the whole of the season, right? I thought that they had enough to get over the line in terms of the league, of course, because I thought their experience would kick in. But I think in many games this season, we saw, like, I was here after the Liverpool game at Anfield, and I was like, yeah, Liverpool deserved to win that game, should have won that game. They were the better team with a lot of injuries, a lot of missing key players. And City, with all of their stars, everybody in the team, you would have thought, yeah, they're going to show up and dominate, and nope, nothing. And we've seen that time and time again this season. We saw the performance at Aston Villa. We saw the performance at the Etihad against Arsenal, where they just didn't look convincing. They didn't look like they had anything going forward. We saw the performance against Spurs in a game that they absolutely needed to win. Up until the waning moments, the early moments of the second half, they didn't even have a sniff at goal. So I don't know. I do think this is probably the worst Man City side that we've seen since the Fernandinho at center back experiment when all of the players were injured. And I know they've been dominating, in terms of winning titles and won a treble, but I think you can look at the team and you can still see some gaps. And I don't know, that was just like Ortega and Vardiol having that kind of calamity at the back is just something that you wouldn't expect from a team that's coached by Pep. And I mean, we've all seen the pictures of them partying, and I think it just comes down to they didn't take this game serious enough, and they thought they could roll out same game plan, same tactics, go through the motions, and just add another trophy. And I mean, maybe finally we're seeing the hangover, right, of winning so much, which would have all expected. The reason why 4 in a row is so impressive is, like, most teams after they win 1, 2, there's a natural drop off. There's a natural, lethargic nature. You're supposed to kind of drop the levels a bit because you get too comfortable. And that was why it's been so impressive with the City team. It's like, that's why we call them a machine, because there's no human element of like a let off. I think you saw a let off today. Like, that was an opportunity to get another trophy, and they absolutely did not turn up. They didn't turn up in any way, shape, or form. I'll say credit to United, even though I truly don't believe it was any tactical brilliance on their part. But I'll still say credit to them, because you got to go out there and you got to win a final. Like, it doesn't get handed to you, even though this one kind of did get handed to them. But they showed up. They played very well. They defended brilliantly, and they didn't let their opportunity go. And I think, hey, that's justification for all of those players, for the manager, for all of them. That's justification that maybe their season would have been different if they weren't so injured. And now is the great unknown. What could they have achieved? You give him another year to see. We don't know. I think that's what he's effectively done. He's created a debate, because he's been ramping up all season. Like, trust me, it's the injuries. I don't have any players. I'm playing Kwambala. I'm playing Johnny Evans, blah, blah, blah. And now we saw, okay, with a few first choice players, Varane, Lisandro in the back, Onana, you saw Mainu, like they looked silky at times. They played some good stuff. I'm going to be honest. So yeah, we're going to see where they go from here, but he definitely created a debate about what this team is capable of.
Yeah. I wanted to see we're still going to come to that, right? The discussion around the managerial situation at both United and Chelsea. So, but let me come to the Adams, still on the game, right? The Adams, I would also like to get your view on Man City. Before you come in, right? I think there's something Uzo said. I think we've said it for majority of the season, right? This City team has weaknesses. Like, there's just I know sometimes when you watch them play, you just know that they are not that City team of the past few seasons. There's something in their ball. I think that's like an indictment on the rest of the teams, especially the teams that were chasing them for the title, right? Arsenal and Liverpool. They were there for the like you could smell it like they were there. Like you could just you just needed to be brave enough, and then take your chance. Like they were there to be taken, for them to
Like I remember that Luis Diaz chance at Anfield.
at
Gotta
Anfield,
put
yeah,
that
what would
away.
have,
You kill
yeah,
you beat them there, league is done.
it's
Right?
done,
It's the same thing with Arsenal when Trossard was through and didn't square the ball. They were. I'm not hearing all this machine 115 charges. They spent this. I'm not hearing that. This team was definitely there for the taking. So I think you're right. You're right. I think United just proved to everyone like, yeah, you should be more brave. You should have been
Yeah.
more brave.
But so then, let me just get your take on the game before we talk about the managerial situation at United.
Yeah, I share a lot of thoughts, similar thoughts as Uzo. Obviously, I had vested interest in that game. I was hoping. I thought it was a foregone conclusion. Actually, man. I to be honest, I didn't
That's why
watch the
it's
game.
football. That's why it's
I didn't watch
football.
the game
That's why
live.
my anything can happen.
Yeah.
So that's why we love the sport.
They said
If we're
the
always
man,
predicting Man City to win, it's going to be boring. So
Pius,
of course,
they said the man who sleeps with a machete is a fool every night but one.
Except one.
Today is your day, Pius.
wow,
Today is your day.
wow, that's like a dig, man. No. But
Pius has been predicting the unpredictable all season.
It never happened to today.
all right,
But yeah,
I don't-
I've never asked anything of City, man. To be honest, I don't, but I was just hoping they could do one for us, man, and just get us over the line with the Europa League stuff. But now we have to go to Conference League, and the funniest thing about that is we still have to play. We have to play a qualifying round.
that was one unique thing. That, my goodness, when I saw that, I was like, wow, it can't get any worse than that.
Yeah, man. If you ask any Chelsea fan, we already thought we were in Europa League. We started planning for Europa League. We thought it was done, right? And yeah, but like Uzo said, we played City 3 times this season, and every time we played them, I thought we had a chance. I thought we had a chance to take, and I've been seeing that Chilwell chance at the semi-final, that last one where he could have squared the ball to Sterling and it could have been a tie game. And, and that just keeps playing in my head. Yeah, if only we took that chance. But yeah, like you guys have said, I all the times we've played them this season, I just felt like, they were not that team, right? They're not that team. Yeah, there was always that opportunity, and Uzo touched on it. Yeah, the Martinelli Trossard chance, that was the difference. Maybe that's the difference. And an Arsenal fan tweeted something like, "Oh, we've been wanting a team to just do this to City all year." And we're like, you could have been you. You guys played them, right? You could have been. That could have been you. Yeah,
in your hands,
Yeah.
When they went to the Etihad, Arsenal had all the momentum. All the momentum. They were on that insane winning streak. They hadn't lost a single game in 2024. And I think they just went there with the wrong approach. I think, forget about even the one chance. I think if they went there with the intent to win, I think they would have won. And I think the fact that they went there and were so negative was exactly why they went. They didn't capitalize on the results.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that's the way to play City, right? You have to contain them, but still have
that attacking
threat.
intent.
Yeah, you still have that threat, and Rashford and Garnacho. Garnacho is one talent that I'm probably not going to say this. Never mind, I'm not saying it. But they had that threat. And it worked out for them.
No, Adams, feel free. Don't stop now.
but
Palmer, Hazard, come on, you are 1 for 1. Come on, keep going.
No, but yeah, I think he has that quality. I see that. I don't think maybe Manchester United might not be the team where everything comes to life for him, but I see something in him, all right, for next season. And Uzo thought, go ahead.
Sorry, I wanted to say, funny enough, Garnacho is, I don't know, I might be wrong, but you can correct me. Uzo, you can also jump in as well. It's like Garnacho is someone that divides opinion, even among some Man U fans. There are still some murmurs like they're not really convinced about him.
Yeah.
But it depends where you are.
That's more so just rant TV. He's the only one that's like a vocal
This is right.
anti-Garnacho guy that's in the fan base. Most of the people within the fan base, they see
They
the
race him.
raw potential. But they've been rating this guy before he even got into the first team. This was when he was tearing up PL2 and all those clips of. We've seen all the insane clips of this guy, so he's not a scrub. I think there's this weird thing now in football media where like you're either really good or you're complete trash. He's not a scrub. He has raw ability. Of course, he can polish up the IQ, but I see more established professionals make even more brain-deaded decisions. We've seen Sterling make extremely idiotic decisions. We've seen guys like Anthony, who's much older than Garnacho, make insanely stupid decisions. So I'm not going to hold that against the young kid. He's clearly still developing. He's not at a stable environment, but the talent is there. The raw ability, it's absolutely there. The pace, the ball control, the manipulation, the strike, the ball strike, and all it's all there. It's evident for everyone to see. I'm on the other side of the opinion bracket, but I agree with you, Pius. Like it's weird how like online is people are either like, oh, he's like baby Rashford, makes bad decisions, blah blah blah, and then the other side is like, wow, he's the next Ronaldo. It's like there's no balance.
Yeah.
The way that people talk about him.
Okay, so Adams, let me come back to you on. So let's talk about the managerial situation at Manchester United first with Ten Hag, right? So I think before the game there were some rumors that the decision already made up in the hierarchy to let him go, regardless of this result, right? And then of course there will be divided opinions among United fans that injuries had not helped him. He's a good coach. Let's still give him 1 more year. There are some that are like, nah, he's his fault. He had made bad signings. The style of play is horrendous. So with this now winning the FA Cup, I think I saw some quotes from him. He's now feeling like he's in a stronger position. Like I delivered you the FA Cup, so do you want to now still sack me? That kind of talk. I always win trophies. I deliver. All that kind of talk. I know for me, for me as a Liverpool fan looking out, I think Ten Hag should stay because I think he's not for me. I think he's not a good coach. So this is like a very good. Let anything that will strengthen his hand. Let it happen. So he will stay because I feel he's not a good coach. But let me get your own view on Eric Ten Hag. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I agree with you, man. I think I think you should, like from a rival perspective, I would like him to stay. But if I was a Manchester United fan, I won't be getting carried away. Uzo touched on it. The reason why they lost that they won that trophy. I mean, fair play to him. He strengthens his hand. That's good for him. They should be happy that he's living with something. Like he was able to get something for them. But the true picture comes from the league form. And even the way they performed against Man City, are you telling me they're going to go and play that way for all 38 games? No, like they can't play that way, right? It has to be just a handful of games. So that doesn't really show anything to me. Like that's a one-off game. It's a final. Massive credit to them for winning the final. But I'm looking through the rest of the season. I'm looking at them finishing 8th, the worst ever position the Manchester United team has ever finished. Yes, the injuries are there. You can talk about the squad, the players that he had available, but I'm not just convinced, man. I think if you're Manchester United, just say thank you very much. We appreciate everything, but it's time to move on. I think that would be the best thing for them to do. But yeah, I hope they don't. I hope they stick with him.
I hope he stays.
Yeah,
I absolutely hope.
Yeah.
This same team, like this is, I love. As a Spurs fan, I have the unique perspective of watching all the high and mighty around me crumble. And it's so beautiful to watch because all of the things that I've heard all my life, oh, you're a Spurs fan, what do you know about this? What do you know about that? I just love silently observing as people start to lower themselves down to my level, quote unquote, which we're all fans. I don't know why people act as if that them being a fan of a team that wins trophies means that they're the ones going out there to win the trophies. My guy, you just picked the right team. That's all you did. But it's always interesting to hear how people talk like, oh, I'm Mr. High Standards. But this same team sacked Louis van Gaal, who had pedigree, mind you, before United, had undeniable pedigree in world football as a superb manager. They sacked him after winning the FA Cup because it wasn't good enough. 6th wasn't good enough for them then. Sixth and the FA Cup was absolutely not good enough. Sacked them, moved on to an even more impressive manager in Mourinho, who had a stronger resume. That was the level. And then, of course, from Mourinho, again, second in the Europa League or whatever else he delivered was not good enough. He started the next season poorly, even though he wanted players moved on, he wanted players brought in. They didn't care about any of that. We don't care. You got to deliver. You didn't deliver. You're out of here. Then they went the interim route. We saw. I don't even kill them for the Ole appointment because the interim period went so well. He had the United DNA. It felt like that was what they needed at that time to restore the soul of the club. Didn't work out. Overstayed his welcome. They eventually shipped him out because, again, being top four and being in and around competing was not good enough for Manchester United. And now you finished eighth with negative goal difference. That's what Adams failed to mention. They had negative goal difference in a 38-game season. I don't care if the academy played the whole season. You shouldn't have negative goal difference at the Manchester. This is the biggest club in England. Like, none of us here will argue. We all support different teams, and none of us here would argue that Man United are the biggest club in England. And you're telling me that eighth place, negative goal difference, and then a 30% possession win in the cup final to your rivals who have just completed a treble four in a row is good enough to stay in that same. You should hide your head in shame. You should absolutely hide. So I hope he stays. I really do hope he stays. But it's interesting to me to see where the standards are now in United, that he can sit up there in the press conference, smug and arrogant, saying, if they don't want me, I'll go somewhere else and win trophies. This is Erik ten Hag's resume, right? By the way, right? As a player, won one trophy in a 10-plus year career playing at FC Twente. He won one trophy as a player. He then goes on to coach Bayern B. Whatever, we don't care about that. He coaches Utrecht, no trophies. He coaches Ajax, wins a few things as the biggest and monopoly club in the Eredivisie. Then he comes to United and he's won the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. Is that a serial winner? Well, what do you mean I'll go somewhere else and keep winning? You've won between a player and a manager. You've won as much as my one palm. So his arrogance and his cockiness is beautiful to watch sometimes because I wonder who he thinks he is on the inside. He came into the league. He said, era's come to an end. We're not scared of this guy. We're not scared of that guy. Held 7 to this guy. Held 6 to that guy. Got slapped 4 by this guy. Head held high the whole time. It's remarkable what confidence and looking as if you know what you're doing can take you in this life. Because he just walks around very confidently, like he knows what he's doing, so people just believe he does. But yeah, I mean, to me, it's not enough. If you're the biggest club in England, it's not enough to be 8th with a negative goal difference and win one cup. It's not enough. And I'm glad that it's enough now. That means the rest of us can continue to catch up and compete with them. But it was just remarkable for me to see how smug and like arrogant he was. Like, I was like,
yeah, it's always. I think I mentioned it last time I was on the show. He always has that. United will play bad. Like, all of us watched the game. We saw what happened, and he will come to the press conference and say,
"You blame the ref or blame something strange."
That Arsenal offside thing. He holds on to that one.
He said Garnacho was onside.
He said Garnacho was onside, and he said they should have had a penalty. He seems like it's not all there. I can see why some of the players are falling out with him because listening to that level of delusion is wild.
Hopefully,
I just listed the guy's resume is insane.
Hopefully, let him stay. Let him stay next year. Can't wait for the Dutch and his Slot versus Ten Hag derby next season. We'll see how that, from a Liverpool perspective, that should be.
Slot was the one who I think dethroned him right to the league. Well, no, he wasn't. No,
I think he left already, right?
Yeah, he had left. He had just left. Dethroned Ajax for sure, but
yeah, with Feyenoord. Yeah, looking forward to Mr. Slot's era. Okay, the Adams. Let's stick with Manchester United, right? I want us to talk about. There are some 3 players I have, but if you have any other more, you can add as well. So there is what's his name now? The Argentine Martinez, Lisandro Martinez, Sofiane Amrabat, and then Rasmus Højlund, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Ten Hag signed those guys, right? They came in during this Ten Hag era.
Yeah.
I just wanted to rate. Have you rated their Manchester United career so far? Yeah.
I think it's hard to rate Lisandro Martinez. He's been injured all season, so like the quality is there for sure. Like he's passing, like
Would you
he
rate him like top 5 defenders in the Premier League right now?
right now, no, definitely not. No, yeah, I don't think the
There are 5
injuries, and
defenders before him that you can call that
I think so.
better than him.
I think so. You look at the two Arsenal centre backs; they're definitely in front of him. You look at Van Dijk. You look at some of the City defenders. I think I'll put them ahead of him. So I don't think he's top 5. And Rush Hoyland, I think I like him, man. I see a lot of potential, but he's still a young kid. They pay so much for him. He's coming to Manchester United as the only striker, by the way. I don't think they have any other striker, do they? That's the only recognized number 9 they have. He hardly gets any services. He's just looking miserable the whole game. I do think that he has potential. I've seen like we talked about Garnacho. He has some raw ability. I see some of the runs he makes. But I think he hasn't gotten enough service. I don't think he has gotten enough service, especially from the way Manchester United play. Obviously, like the price tag was too much. I don't think he cost that much. But I see something in him. I think he has potential. I think the talent is there. I don't think he's a scrub or he's a flop. I see something in him, but I just think he needs time. He shouldn't be like he shouldn't come into Manchester United being the only striker and you expect everything to happen through him. A striker like that should come in maybe as like a second fiddle, try to understand the situation, understand the club, coming in off the bench sometimes, playing like the lesser games. He shouldn't have everything trusted at him in his first season. I can't remember what he is, probably under 21. I don't think he can handle all that.
He's a teenager.
Yeah, especially, bro, look at the strikers that have come before him at Manchester United. Come on, man.
Oh, he's 21, actually.
Yeah, he needed time, and the pressure is just too much on him. But I do think that he has genuine talent.
Last player, Sofiane Amrabat. Some few weeks ago, some Manchester United fans were saying, "Oh, we've been scammed by Fiorentina."
I think
Amrabat.
did they sign him? I think it's a loan deal, right?
Okay, yeah, loan deal. Okay, loan deal. Sorry,
Yeah,
he's not been fully signed. They'll be
Yeah.
like, he scammed himself with that tackle against Mbappe in the World Cup. I remember there was a bidding war at some point with Liverpool. I remember it was entire Liverpool went there, like, oh, we're even feeling bad that he got to.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember
I wanted him as well.
Now, the last few games, I think he's had some good games, and some fans are like, oh, in fact, they should make sure they trigger the buyout. That was called.
Man, I hope they do,
clause.
man. I hope they trigger that clause.
So you feel it's scam.
Obviously, bro. Like, come on, man.
I don't say obviously.
But I mean, nice performance. Like, I think he did well yesterday.
Yeah.
He had a good performance, but that's not enough, man. That's not enough for Manchester United.
Like a club United.
Yeah.
Uzo, what do you think about those players?
The first name was Lisandro, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess his own has just been availability, right?
Yeah.
Like, it just, is he available? I think because he's undersized, he sometimes overcompensates for his size.
By the way,
He
look at
does
that
these things
mismatch
like
between him and Haaland. Man, Haaland, we need to have some conversations about Haaland, by the way. Sorry, Uzo.
I've been trying. I keep getting stoned online. I keep trying to have these conversations about the guy. That's now 9 semifinals and finals, 0 goals. I've been trying to have these conversations. People don't want to have them, but one day, like I said, the man who sleeps with a machete is a fool every day but one. One day it'll be my day to have my moment in the sun about this Haaland guy. But for now, he's breaking all these records, so let him eat. Because I thought the whole team was poor. It wasn't just him.
Yeah.
On the day, but and also I thought that was a penalty. Come on, like he knows what he's doing. Like he knows I have no chance at contesting a header with this guy. I'm just gonna go ahead and body check him and get him out of there. Like, and I don't like the whole angle of like if you're so much bigger than someone, then they can't foul you, because like when you're in the air, you're vulnerable. Like just the slightest touch, you're off balance, you're knocked off course. But whatever, that's my City bias, because I don't want anybody else to win but them until we can miraculously win. That way we all just suffer. everybody suffer. I want
When
us
you
all to
when you
suffer.
say we mean sport, right?
No, yeah. Until we're ready to win, nobody wins. Everybody just suffer.
Nobody's
Let's
ever going to
all
win then.
suffer. Yeah, then let City sweep
Sports.
everything. So you guys
And
can all feel the
sports
pain.
go marching.
Pius, pipe down, okay? Pipe down. Remember who derailed your title ambitions. Remember.
And what that gets you?
And
Zilch.
the
Nada.
same thing against us every season, Pius. We're not like you're not dunking on us. We're always here. This is what we do. but yeah, no, I think Lisandro's on is just it's availability and also just the fact that I personally I don't like him. I feel like he's a bit of a bastard, but if he plays for your team, you love that. Absolutely love that. Like he has that mean streak.
Bro, Romero does that too. What are
nastiness.
you even saying?
I think what people think of Romero is actually true of Lisandro. But because he's so much smaller, they don't really care or notice it. But like people don't realize Romero probably had less yellow cards than any other center back in this league last. Like after that red card incident at Chelsea, he was pretty much faultless.
Yeah,
and even that red card, I will argue to the death that was not a red card. But because I saw that same tackle happen week in, week out after that, and it was never cautioned the same way. But again, you're responsible for your reputation, and I think because of who he is, they figured it was malicious, and then they sent him off. I've not seen anybody else get sent off double jeopardy, red card, and penalty. I've never seen that. Like it's actually supposed to be a law where like if they give the penalty, they don't give the red. If they give the red, they don't give the. If it's no not sense. A pen, it's a law. If you commit a foul that is a penalty, they don't give the red card.
Really?
Double jeopardy. Yeah, they stopped doing.
Yeah,
it.
I think there's this job. Yeah, it came in sometime maybe
after that David Luiz tackle against Watford, where he got sent off and they got the penalty. They stopped doing that.
Yeah, they call it double jeopardy stuff. Yeah,
but they gave him the red because of extreme foul play, and then it led to a penalty. It was whatever. I don't care. My point is.
Yeah, sorry.
Go ahead,
go on.
Go ahead, Pius.
No, I just want to say quickly on all those. I think that's one of the issues that the problems we're having in football right now. So they bring in some of those laws, and then there's no consistency in how it's been applied.
They're trying to use regular words to describe the infringement. You have to be black and white. It has to be something that someone can look at and say foul or no foul. You can't say extreme foul play, dangerous play, endangering an opponent. What does that mean? If you break my pinky, you endangered me. It should be a red card. But it's not because everyone has common sense, right? Like someone was saying, Gakpo got injured, right, in the game against Spurs. He actually got his ankle broken. It wasn't anything that was malicious by Destiny, but it happened. So should Destiny get a red card for endangering the safety of an opponent who actually got injured? Because then we saw Curtis Jones get a red card in the same game for endangering Bissouma, who didn't get injured. You see what I'm saying? Like I don't know. I just think, just clear it up. Just make it black and white. It's either a red or not, whatever. We move on. But I like Lisandro. He's a good player. He's good on the ball. Great defender. I think he reads the game exceptionally well. I think under a better manager, he has more potential to play that fullback role that we've seen from center backs recently, where they're able to get up and down the pitch and affect. Because I think Arsenal were interested in him before United got him.
Yeah.
And I think that they would have used him in that timber role as a right back left back coming into midfield. So he's really good on the ball, and I think he's very disciplined. But yeah, his availability, right? The other name was Amrabat and Højlund. Højlund, I'm not fully convinced as Adams is. I don't know. I just think as a striker, you're either ready or you're not. Like I know he's young, but I mean, I guess you look at Dominic Solanke. I don't know. Maybe does he need more time? But people say he's not getting service. I think sometimes he just finds himself in the wrong areas of the pitch trying to get into these wrestling matches.
Yeah.
For the first time in a match, his wrestling was actually needed to hold up the ball. and that was smart to bring him on at the end. Yeah, go wrestle your wrestle and waste time and go absolutely nowhere. But they needed it to kind of take this thing out of the game. But I think he does that a little bit too much.
Yeah.
That it hampers his ability to get into the right areas. Like he's getting too involved in the duels. But
I think in another era, that would have been good. Like defenders wouldn't like to play him.
For sure. Like if you were playing like those old school like center backs who don't really like to get like like read the game. Yeah, you can get into the wrestling match. We know Drogba used to do that all the time. Like if he's going against a center back pairing, they're gonna feel him for sure. They're gonna feel his impact. But I think Højlund does have potential. I just don't think he's ready. I don't think he's anywhere near ready. I think he probably still needs a couple more seasons before he can be like capable of leading the lines at a club that's going for titles and stuff like that, like as the primary man. And Amrabat, come on, are we joking here? What are we doing, man? He's a loanee for a reason. It's like with Sabitzer last year when they had Sabitzer. It's just, I think he's a loanee for a reason. I don't know if they'll renew him, but he's not a bad player. It's just like he doesn't.
Should they renew him?
So who are they losing? They're gonna lose Eriksen for sure because you can't get rid of everybody, right? You can't get people. They were close to selling McTominay last season, so I don't know if they'll go back to that. He's gonna be pure profit. So if they're struggling for FFP or whatever it is, then it would make sense to sell him for pure profit to a West Ham or something. So if you lose McTominay, you lose Eriksen. Who's left? Casemiro's going to Saudi. You got to keep somebody. So I mean, to me, I would say keep him for depth.
I'm just I'm sorry. I'm just
Some of the names.
As in, I'm just like Manchester United, like you mentioned, the biggest institution in England. I'm just like, long may it continue, man. Long may those names be Manchester United players for years to come, man. At least
Bro, that's
one thing you're guaranteed of, and they can put me on the record for saying, like, with those names, they are far away from the Premier League title.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that is what I want. So long may it continue. Okay, I think we've had a lot of Manchester United talk. Let's quickly switch our attention quickly to so we've not had a chance to speak about we saw the Europa League final during the week. We saw our boy make some history, Ademola Lookman, first player to score a hat-trick in a European final, man. Anytime I think about it, I'm just like, wow. You've had names, the greatest of the greatest names, playing European finals. Is it Messi? Is it any of the Ronaldos? Is it the Zlatan? Or like the greatest strikers? None of them were ever able to do it. Either when it was a UEFA Cup or whatever Champions League, none of them have ever done bad. But Ademola Lookman, man, what a record for him. So that, by the way, congrats to him. So I saw a debate, I think I tried to, start it as well during our group. I was like, jokingly said, I would like to see him as some other Nigerians in Liverpool next season. But I wanted to get your view on yourself and Adams, right? And Uzo, let me start with you, Adams. Like, Ademola Lookman, does he start in Chelsea right now?
Start?
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't think so, man.
Yeah. Think about it.
Like he has shouts for sure. Like he has shouts. I think
yeah.
He has shouts. I think he
Sterling,
can definitely
Noni, Modric.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he getting ahead of any of those guys?
I think he's getting ahead of Modric. He's getting ahead of Noni. Sterling, yes, he's definitely getting ahead of Sterling on current form.
With those names you've called,
but I'm just looking at his ceiling, though. I'm looking at his ceiling. I'd rather just give time to players that I'm sure are going to develop. I'm going to get better. For him, okay. Is he getting? I hope so. I hope he gets better at this. Like I just think there's a cap to his potential right now. He's a guy that I think a team. Like, he can be a solid squad option for a top team. That's how I see him. All right? Like, almost like a Trossard type of player for any of the top teams. I think he can do that. Like, that's the cap to his potential. That's the highest I think he can go.
Okay. So, what do you think? Ademola Lookman starting in Spurs next season. Will you have that?
Ademola Olajade Alade Ayola Lookman. Put some respect on my boy's name, man. I'm the Lookman guy. I told you, Adam.
Yeah, he did. He
before
did
Nations Cup started, I said Lookman is
fair play.
him.
Fairs.
I honestly think there are certain players, right? They're just a victim of their name, and I think Lookman is a clear example of that. I think if his name was Ornstad Orgeslund from Sweden, and he had blonde hair, and he
Let's
did
calm down. Let's calm down.
No,
bro.
no,
Let's
no,
calm
no,
down.
no, no. I'm gonna say it because it needs to be said.
Wow.
I
Okay.
just don't think he sounds sexy enough to be as good as he is. And I think he's had a very quality season. And every time I've seen this guy in really top moments, I've seen him put in performance after performance. And I agree with what you said, actually. I'm not saying like he should, be a world beater or be in Ballon d'Or conversations, but I think it's time to put some respect on the man's name. I've seen guys like Choupo-Moting going from Bayern to PSG and the likes, top clubs. I've seen, and trust me, no disrespect, I've seen Moise Kean bouncing around top clubs, back and forth. Lukaku, no disrespect to Lukaku, he's definitely...
Sorry.
Lukaku
I'm sorry,
definitely
man.
is...
I just had to put that. The other time I see that,
But
I
that's
was
when I'm
laughing.
character.
Oh my goodness. But we've seen guys like Lukaku, we've seen guys like Serge Gnabry, and Gnabry had a peak. Of course, he had a peak.
Hey, nah, I think you're taking it too far now. Calm down.
Serge Gnabry was at West Brom, right?
Bro, some of the
Or
names
wherever.
you're putting up with Gnabry, Moise Kean,
No.
Choupo-Moting.
No. I was transitioning to being
okay.
a top contributor being a contributor in the top side. I look at a guy like Serge Gnabry, pretty much the same career arc as Lookman. Goes to a struggling relegation side, completely underutilized, and they just fall off. The same thing happened to Victor Moses to a certain extent. You know what I mean? Like, he was just kind of like dwindling until he ended up at Chelsea, and that elevated him. So I think Lookman would definitely benefit from a top move. I think he's absolutely ready to. He's only 26. People are acting like this guy is like 35. Like he's like it's a streets won't forget performance. This guy's in the middle of his prime. Why can't he get better? Why can't he continue to contribute? What he's doing is not a fluke. He did this in a team that was undefeated. They haven't lost a game all year. They said their last loss was over 330 something days away. They were about to complete a whole year without losing a match. So it's not like he just walked up to some random Amity Park and called next, and then he banged the hat trick against electricians and school bus drivers. He showed up at the second biggest European final in our game, and he dropped a 3-goal, masterful 10 out of 10, 100 out of 10 performance on the head top of the best team in the entire world this season.
Absolutely. As in the guy, he had a like.
Yeah.
I was so proud. I was so proud as in
Like
watching
it's
that.
like it's not like we can overestimate anything. Like his play spoke for itself. That is
Absolutely.
the estimation. So absolutely, he would start at Spurs. Brendan Johnson started for us. If Brendan Johnson scores a hat trick in a European final, I will personally. I don't want to live on this, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So
he definitely plays.
yeah,
for
absolutely,
Spurs,
he would start at Spurs.
Yeah.
I mean, would I be happy if that was like our marquee signing? No. And I know that makes me seem like a hypocrite, but I don't think he's ready to get the burden of being the main attacking threat for a team that is trying to elevate and get to the next level. But can he be a rotational option at a Bayern Munich,
I think
PSG
even
who's
in
losing
Arsenal,
Mbappe?
I think he will suit Arsenal as a rotational piece. I think so.
Can he be a rotational piece for Saka? I would
think
hate
so.
for him to go to Arsenal.
I think
would hate
we
that,
also.
'cause I
I
don't
think
wanna hate the
Liverpool.
guy.
I think Liverpool I think Liverpool should be looking at him, right? Because
Like
there's
what?
rumors. There's rumors
This
right
is the
now
exact
that
same thing that happened with Salah,
Yeah.
right? Salah had those seasons at Roma, and people were like, "Oh yeah, but it's a fluke.
Yeah.
It's this." No,
Come on.
Adam,
It's not the
Adam,
exact
be
same
real.
thing. It's not the
Be
exact
real.
same thing.
No,
Before Salah went to Liverpool, there were no conversations even close to what he's being
Yes.
talked about right now.
But-
But
1,000%.
No.
But-
The
but-
season Salah had though, it wasn't. Salah first did in Florentina, remember? Then he went to Roma and
Roma,
had
yeah.
an exceptional
Yeah, he-
season. It's not close.
I agree. Well, but Salah didn't do what Lookman
what you
just
do
did.
at Liverpool.
No,
basically,
no.
What you did. Like nobody knew Salah had
No.
that
What
sort of
what
like.
Lookman just
Yeah.
did to me eclipses what Salah accomplished in the end. Salah had a better season, but
The
He had a
hat-trick.
season where he had the goals, he had the assists, and he crowned it with a perfect performance in Europe at that.
So
I don't see why he can't take the next step. That's my thing.
Yeah,
I don't see
absolutely.
why
I
he
agree with
can't.
you. I agree. I
I'm
think
even
he
looking
can.
at, from a Liverpool fan, I'm looking at, because there's rumors that, and it's been going on for like most of the season, right? So Luis Diaz is looking like he's going to, leave. And to be honest, I've not really been a fan of Luis Diaz, right? Okay, he has flair, he can beat his man, but I just feel like he has always lacked that end product. And I think if Lukman comes into Liverpool, I think Lukman has that. He can also maybe not as much flair as
That's the
Diaz.
thing. I don't think
And he has
he can
goals
be
to
a
his
main
game.
man though. I don't think
No.
in a team like
I would have
Liverpool.
liked him at
No, he's
Liverpool
not the
if
main man.
Klopp
He
was
can't be the
still
main
there.
man.
Yeah.
If Klopp was still there at his heyday, I would have liked him at Liverpool. I think there's too much uncertainty there now for him to go in. He's gonna get unfairly taxed
That's the thing.
with this responsibility to bring them back.
Yes.
That is he needs to go somewhere
Exactly.
established,
and he knows his
low
role. Like, okay,
expectations. Yeah.
this is what I'm going to give, and he will overperform that role. I can assure you.
I would actually like him, and hear me out on this. I would like him to go to Leverkusen, a team like that. That's a good next step.
That's not a
You
bad
go in
shout.
there,
Yeah.
you will be put in the perfect position. We've already seen that Xabi can work with African players, and I'm saying that because we've seen that not every coach can. I'm sorry. There's some coaches that just they for some reason they see African players and they put them in a box. Mourinho was notorious for this as well.
Apart from him playing for Nigeria, though, he's more like he's like Saka technically. Like he's not.
That's what he's very technically brilliant.
Yeah. Like what I mean is, to your African point, like he's not like he came from Nigeria. He's like an European type player.
I get that, but his name.
Right.
Let me say it again because Ademola Ajalade Alade. He's not. That's like Fikayo.
Yeah.
I just think there's a reputation, right? Gidigbo,
true.
pace and power.
Did you guys see
not brilliant, not intelligent? Like he can do all that.
Yeah, he can.
And I would like to see someone give him a chance.
Did you guys see Peter Crouch? His comment I put on Twitter too, like he should have waited for England. Bro, Fikayo is there waiting. Tammy Abraham has been waiting.
And also, like, bro, this is the same England that just left out Rashford from their provisional squad. You think you were guaranteed to get in over Grealish?
Nah.
He's just playing.
He's going
to play 2 minutes against Serbia or something, and that's it.
What he did at the Nations Cup, I'll argue, elevated him far more than any provisional squad in England could ever.
I agree.
And I think he made a good account of himself. Before that tournament, Adams was having question marks about him.
I did.
And I think the tournament, the season has had, 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
I couldn't be happier. That third goal, I stood up, I saluted. Wow. That's my president. I don't know about that guy that's an Asoro pretending that is my president. But the step overs, the finish.
That was a performance.
You want to talk about being unplayable.
Yeah.
This performance is going to stay, it's going to be like the Hall of Fame,
Yes.
This sort of,
that's his claim to it. Because it's never been done, it might not be done again.
Yeah.
And this is what gives you petty. And he won. We like winners. So he won. He stepped in the final, bagging a hat trick. That's madness.
That's crazy, man.
Adams, let me come to you. Let me do some sort of connection, right? Okay, so let's talk about the Atlanta coach, Gasperini. Will you have him at Chelsea right now?
I mean, like that. That's not the.
He's 70 years old.
That's not the direction they want to go. They've said they want a young
the
coach.
The first bullet point was young coach. They will bring 70-year-old Gasperini.
So it's not going to happen, man.
How do you do, fellow kids?
But I asked you if you take him out after that 3-0. After he came to your backyard and without Lukman too. Without Lukman, man, I wish Lukman played that game. But
I was surprised that Lukman didn't play that game as well. Why?
I don't know, maybe he was injured or something, but was he? I don't even think he was in the squad for those 2 games.
He was just on the bench, He was just on the bench.
They didn't really use him. That's surprising. That's surprising.
And they still dunked on us 3-0 anyways.
The Atalanta team, they played some good stuff this season.
They did.
Yeah. I think
they always are good. They're always good. They're always they're kind of like the what's a good example of them? Like they're an attacking team every season. They don't
Yeah.
particularly win anything, but on their day they can
Yeah.
blitz anybody.
Yeah.
And football just has those, those storylines, it's sad, happy, like Atlanta has always like they've been there, Champions League, small budgets in Italy. I think they've been punching
Something
above
about
their
Italian
weight.
teams and these European
Remember,
tournaments, they
remember
always make
the
history.
the Champions League during the COVID era, man. They were so close to, I think, was it the final or so? They really gave like the top teams that year a real run for their money. So since then,
Mhm.
they've had that, X factor about them, and then to end it, with this Europa triumph would have been amazing for them. I just feel, this victory for Atlanta, and I was thinking about Diego Simeone. I'm just like, football football can be so cruel at, for me
This
personally, Emma.
Simeone guy again.
No, I don't know. I'm just trying to draw some sort of, maybe I'm
He
wrong
deserves more, Abi.
in my head. I'm just like, yeah, I just feel like, I think it's 3 Champions League finals against Madrid.
No, two.
It's 2. It's crazy. But I think he's won Europa League anyways with Atletico
Yeah.
Madrid. So I
against
think he should be fine with that.
Yeah.
Against
That's
who,
his
sorry?
level now.
Against Fulham, right? I think it was against Fulham.
Yeah, was it
Was it?
Fulham or no?
Yeah,
I think
Aguero scored the
think it was-
winning goal, right?
Yeah,
Was it that
was
one?
that Simeone?
That wasn't Simeone.
Yeah, I think Simeone is the one that they beat Bilbao, Atletico
Oh,
Bilbao.
okay.
Yeah. But anyways, he's won. The point is, at least he's won a European. Okay, that's fine. That's by the way. Congrats to Lookman. He's focused now on he'll be on Nigeria, helping us get through Benin Republic and South Africa next month.
Look, man, you get us into the World Cup. I'm telling you right now, all summer long, Ballon d'Or shouts from
Bro,
him.
and the
Ballon
funny
d'Or
thing, right,
shouts.
he can play
We're
the
not holding
African
back.
ball. Like, Nations
Yeah.
Cup, bro. I was surprised, man.
He was cooking those guys,
Yeah.
man. I thought he was the player of the tournament.
I did too.
For me.
I did too. It was just
If
Besides
Nigeria-
Ekong,
Yeah.
I thought he was a player of
Yeah.
the
if Nigeria
tournament.
had won
And
it, you would
if
have
we
had
won,
it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you would have
yeah.
had. You would have
But
had the
like,
decent shots.
listen, I'm having all those. I'm not like Adams. I'm not calm. Kudus, come outside. We're trying to talk.
I thought Kudus was your guy.
My guy is Ademola now. We're trying to talk. Put your Europa League hat trick in a
put it on
final
the table, man.
table.
Put it on the table.
Wow.
All
It's
of
not
you
of the
African
match.
players, all of you, we're trying
So-
to talk.
So before we quickly move on from this, right? Does it put Mola, I'm calling Mola, Ademola Lookman now ahead of like for the African Player of the Year? Does it put him like
If he
ahead of
doesn't win it,
everybody?
we riot.
Yeah, he
If
puts
he
him in the
doesn't win it, we
conversation for
riot.
sure.
People are saying Boniface ahead of him. I'm like, bro, I don't care what you did for your club, man. This guy put together the perfect resume
Yeah.
for an African Player of
Yeah.
the Year award. If you want, like, there's no drawbacks anywhere. Oh, what did he do for his country? Oh, well, he only took them to their first final in 10 plus years.
Yeah.
Oh, what did he do for his club? Well, he only delivered them their first European trophy and his coach's first European trophy with a hat trick in the final against the unbeaten.
Against Boniface too.
Against, listen, Boniface,
Second,
Continue
like,
the
you like
skits.
second place.
continue the skits. If I do a skit about Ademola Lookman winning the African Player of the Year,
Wow.
But
if he doesn't win it, we riot. I don't think any African player has had a better season. That's just simple.
I think we're in a privileged situation right now. You know what? Two Nigerian players going against each other. Osimhen winning the last one. It's been ages, man. Pius,
You
you know,
just
we
had
had,
to
yeah.
find a way to say Osimhen. You just had to find a
Nah,
way
nah,
to
bro.
say
He
Osimhen.
nah, you-
Osimhen is the current African Player
he's the
of the Year.
current
Come
African
on.
player
I
of the
know.
year, man. Like,
Yeah, we should be going back to back, honestly.
yeah.
I have a weird feeling they're gonna try to give it to Haller, and
To
I'm
who?
gonna be so
Yeah.
annoyed. Sebastian Haller.
Ale.
How? What did he do?
Couldn't
he
he
won AFCON
possibly win Champions
Bro.
League as well? He could possibly win
Oh, he could
Champions
possi-
League though.
Oh.
Isn't he at Dortmund? I might try.
Yeah, boy. What did he do?
Yeah,
he's
he's not
even
influential.
playing,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
He's not even playing. Like,
No, but Adams, if he goes to the final, right? If he scores even one goal in the final,
oh yeah. If he scores, yes.
that means he would have a final goal to win AFCON, a final goal to win champs.
Yeah.
Even if he
I
doesn't,
can argue, but I can't argue
even
that.
if he doesn't score in the final, but Dortmund wins, there's always going to be that argument.
There's
They'll
gonna be
put
a
him in
debate.
there.
There's
Like,
gonna
put
be
in
a
the
debate.
conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because of
Absolutely.
the head-to-head.
Yeah.
I think besides Haller, I think we're clear. I think
Yeah.
we're clear.
Yeah,
But I won't be
absolutely.
mad if Haller has a very decisive performance in the final.
Man,
And,
I don't know,
and
man. Yeah, maybe. I don't
We'll
think
see how
he
it
will.
goes.
He will play.
yeah, but yeah,
But
Lukman is 26, bro. I don't like how people talk about him like he just doesn't have another level to get to. I think he absolutely does. He has the skill set. I'm rooting for him, man. I want to see him take that next step, get a bigger.
Absolutely.
PSG is open right now, man. Mbappe is leaving. Go. Low pressure environment, bad league with reputation. You go in there, you dominate.
yeah,
The sky's the limit.
yeah.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Let's move on to another talking point for the show. So the season is over now for in England. So everybody's looking ahead now to next season. Signings. Some clubs are still looking for the manager that will take them to next season. They know themselves. Yeah. So okay. So based on the back of that, let me start with you, right? Chelsea still looking for a manager. I hear talks like, oh, the manager market is quality wise is not there, so it's difficult to get that perfect fit. So talk to us about Chelsea managerial search, and then when eventually the manager comes in, what should Chelsea be looking at next season? So I think it's a sixth place finish and a conference
I
league.
think
So
it's too early to sort of, for me though, to say okay, this is our target for next season. A lot of people are going, oh, we need to finish Champions League. We need to be in
too
Champions
early.
League.
Why not?
Yeah,
Why is it too early? You
I
can.
want to see
Why
the
not?
I want to see the person we employ. Like they like
Okay.
look like the thing is number one,
No,
the
no.
manager.
But when you employ, sorry to call you, like when you employ somebody, you give him and say, "This is Chelsea. This is what your target should be. This is your objective for next."
Nah,
Yeah.
I don't think I would do that, man. If we
Uh,
hire someone like what's
uh,
that dude's name from Ipswich? You think I'm going to be
McKenna.
like you can say you can say oh this is what you want. This is what you can say that all you want, bro. You can say oh we want to win. We're Chelsea. We're supposed to go to Champions League. But if you hire McKenna, how is that going to happen? I don't think that is not realistic. That's not a realistic goal to give him. Apart from the manager market being underwhelming, we also set some criteria for ourselves that is a little bit limiting. Okay, we're saying we only want a manager that is young. We only want a manager that can play certain type of football. We only want a manager that can work with the board and not have control. So already we set 3 or 4 criterias, and the manager market is already the way it is. So that limits us to what? Maybe 3 or 4 names of guys that have no
McKenna.
pedigree, coming from championship. Bro, come on, man. Like, of course,
Enzo Maresca.
I'm just like, yeah, man.
Prior to when Vincent Kompany was also among them as well.
So, man, with the names I'm
he
hearing,
went to Bayern, so
I'm just begging.
who are
I'm
Chelsea to
begging
flex
this
that
Derby,
muscle?
man. Just go. Like, you're the best. You're
Yeah.
the best option we have right now, man. Like,
Yeah.
now I don't want to see any Enzo Maresca or McCann or any of these guys. Like,
Thomas
normally,
Frank.
right? Normally, I would have been doing my research on all these guys, but I don't even care. I don't care to them. I don't care about them. But I just based on
But sorry, finish your point.
yeah.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm done.
No, I wanted to just chip in something that more serious. I wanted to say Uzo. No, like Uzo always says about chess. Uzo say, "You're not that team anymore." So say you guys are not that team
Get us
anymore.
the
That-
Derby, and we
The
might
thing
be.
is,
You might
they
be.
they won't they don't accept it, and you know what? I respect their right not to accept it.
Yeah. Chelsea's a
I think when you reach that level of success, maybe you shouldn't accept mediocrity. But I'll be interested to see how Chelsea fights it any differently from the way Man United fought it, from the way Liverpool fought it during their down period, from the way Arsenal fought it for the last 15 years before the Mikel Arteta project. So at the end of the day, there's 2 ways to go about this rebuilding thing. Either you pretend that it's not happening, or you do it and you do it properly the first time. And we'll see. I think the ownership is doing it properly in their own way. Like they're accepting where they are, they're building the right way. That's why they want a young manager, etc. But I think the fan base thinks that he was sacked because we're Chelsea and it's not good enough. They wanted to keep him.
That's the
He just
disconnect.
didn't agree with he just didn't agree with
That's the disconnect.
with the way that they're
Yeah.
going about the rebuild. But people think they sacked him because he finished 6th. Listen, that guy could have finished 11th and they would have kept him. If he was willing to work within the stringent conditions, I think they would have kept him regardless. And I think the next manager is going to come in. To Adam's point, what expectations? You tell him to walk into a league and do what? Get top 4? Would it? Why? Like, why is that? Why should that be a requirement? The last guy didn't get top 4. The guy before him didn't get top 4. It's the same team. The league has only gotten stronger. Everybody else, 3 or 4 teams have their managers. Why should I come in and be expected to just deliver top 4? So we'll see.
Yeah.
Especially going to Kazakhstan during the midweek.
What's this Sunday football, man?
And now I think
Apparently Champs can be played on Sunday now. Oh,
yeah,
man.
so
We can't even run the Thursday jokes anymore.
Yeah, good for us.
We're gonna be taking the same bus as Adams.
So Adams, for Chelsea, we'll see what happens, man. Kieran McKenna is not a bad option. Don't
It's not. I don't hate it. I keep telling Adams I don't hate it for them.
Enzo
I like
Maresca.
McKenna.
I don't know. I'm on purpose. I don't care about this. Like, I don't even know about them. I don't want to know about them. Like, bro, I don't. You guys, look. I don't want any of those guys near Chelsea, man.
Audience, Adams is telling you lies. So I don't like breaking the fourth wall, but I got to give you guys a little bit of insight. I'm talking to you, audience, right now. Don't worry about Adams and Pirates.
I knew what I was
Adams
about
tried
to
to
say.
get a Leicester City fan to come and break down Maresca ball. No, Adams is here forming, I'm too big to care. But I know what is on your laptop. If FBI sees your laptop right now, whether they will not see little triangles drawn on the pitch by Enzo Maresca and philosophy. This is the same guy who read Poch's book. He's coming here to front. He's all you can eat Chelsea. He has done all his research.
Oh man, I don't, those names, bro.
Maresca ball.
We just have to accept the situation. I mean, what can we do? You just have to accept the situation, man.
Yeah, but I think Adams, I think you're right. I think De Zerbi is like the top name there, like pedigree, Premier League pedigree. He has been.
My only thing is, I don't think De Zerbi is gonna agree to work with them, though.
I think he will.
I think he's probably going to do the same thing Poch did.
His biggest issue with Brighton was they don't even replace players. Like, they just want you to keep making stars.
But you knew that
he's not someone who names names. He likes profiles. So I think it's a perfect marriage. Like, what they're saying is profiles, we go out there, we get them. We're not trying to bring this guy. We're not trying to bring that guy. We're not trying to bring this age. We just, what do you want on the pitch? And they also want a progressive style of play. To me, it's a perfect fit. He's never coached anywhere where he's had autonomy. So he's leaving Brighton because, let's be real, what Brighton are running, and I don't know how they're scamming their fans year in, year out.
What do you mean scamming? But what are the fans supposed to expect? They're Brighton.
With the amount of profit that they've turned, they should expect trying to progress. We saw this with Leicester. We saw it with Southampton. We saw it with Burnley.
Where did that end them? Championship.
At least they tried. At least they tried.
Man, this team
not trying to me.
I don't agree with you.
Why not try to break the monopoly?
Nah, don't try nothing,
Leicester,
man. Like,
to me, Leicester is so. Do you think Leicester fans are not happy with the FA Cup and the Premier League title that they got out of it?
Okay, Leicester is an anomaly, though. It's not like they tried to win the Premier League. That wasn't what happened. They didn't go.
But they tried to build on the success that they had. That's
that's what I'm saying. But
like, you think you appoint a Ranieri for what? To not attempt to try to do something? They tried.
No. Appointing Ranieri they weren't trying to win the Premier League or trying to get into Europe. They just barely escaped relegation. They were just
and they went and got a better manager because they didn't want to be back there. But Brighton is comfortable being 11th to 15th every season. Like,
what do you want them to do?
They're okay with it. Just try. You've made all this money from player sales. You've made all this, invested in something. What is he using all that money for?
They're getting more sustainability. They're sustaining the team.
Adams is a politician. The guy right now is in Turks and Caicos with his feet up. Guy is blowing that bread, man. Hey, listen, credit to him. He's running a good model for profit. But if I'm a fan of the team, I'm not looking at it as this guy, is a Brighton fan and he cares about, really seeing how far we can go. We've all seen teams catch fire. You catch fire as your era. Bolton was a team of the thousands. You go back, a year before that, Blackburn were the team of the 90s. Like, it can happen for small teams. Forest have won a Champions League. It's not like it's impossible. If you catch fire, you get generational players. Just see where it can go. Southampton, they had the Manes of the world, all the Verrill, Schneiderlin, all those guys at the same time. They pushed for top 7, top whatever they did. Like, that's something. They lost their coach. They lost players. Oh, well. But just not trying is weird to me. Like, every season, sell everybody, go get Baleba. Sell everybody, go get Adingra. Sell everybody, go get this guy. Like, come on. At some point, you got to try. Just try. 1-2 seasons.
So for Spurs, right? What are your expectations for the coming season for Big Ange? Should he? I know you guys are back in. Okay, I want to say no. You guys are back in Europe now, so Europa League. I know you said you prefer that to the Champions League. At least you have a chance. If you guys have a go, there's a chance you can at least probably win.
At least we're in a tournament that we've won before, so it's like there can be some kind of hope that we've triumphed here before. We can do it again. Who knows? But at least we know it's not going to be. I mean, we have won it before. Like it's not.
They won it before, like
in his form, the UEFA Cup. But yeah.
See, I love when people expose themselves.
Yeah,
we say there's heritage, and now I bring up heritage. It's like 1,000 years ago. The point is, it's in the blood. It's in the blood. It's in the blood. I don't care when it happened. We're in the stitchings.
It's just like Nottingham Forest. They have heritage. They have European heritage.
Well, guess what? If Forest get back to the Champions League, you think they're going in there with the same badge as the rest of us? Well, I mean, of course, Pius' badge is different from your badge.
The rest of us?
Us as in us Spurs.
Okay.
Me, that's us North Londoners.
Okay, yeah.
No, Forest are going in there with a nice badge. They're going to go in there with that little, you know what I mean? They get a little star to say like, we know you here, Amorawa. You know what I mean? Like, so we're going into our competition. The competition that we won as the first British club ever. But whatever. I like Europa. I think it's a good chance for us to see some of the young kids. We have a lot of young talent. I know it's boring to people, but it's exciting for most Spurs fans. Just today, again, our U21 team won the PL2. They won the PLFA Cup. Last season, they were competitive. I think they won the PL Cup as well. So we have one of the more exciting young teams. We have guys playing for the England U21 setup, Mikey Moore, Dane Scarlett, guys like that, Jamie Donley. So we've got a lot of guys that we want to see in some of these like smaller competitions. And for me, that's the most exciting thing is I can look forward to Thursdays. I can say, okay, send these kids out. Let's see if we got something. That wouldn't have happened if we went to Champions League because we're not ready for Champions League. We don't have the squad for it. We would have been playing guys like Richarlison and these guys in Champions League. I want to see the kids, and I want to see them get a chance to at least get some professional experience under their belt. And I think the Europa League is the perfect thing for it. But as far as expectations, it's far too early. I have to see how the window goes. I think we have a lot of work to do in the window. If the links continue to be guys like Gallagher and Loftus-Cheek and Hudson-Odoi, all the Cobham rejects,
just some respect,
the expectation is going to be capped.
Just some respect on my boys' names, man.
Do you want all those guys back? Yeah,
I want Gallagher to stay.
And Gallagher.
I want Gallagher to stay.
Okay,
I think he offers something different.
Please drive a hard bargain, please. St. Turn us down, I beg. But if these are the kind of signings that we're going after, then I'm going to have to temper my expectations. But, we have to see how the window goes. But from now, I think we have to progress past fifth. And the only logical thing is we have to get into the Champions League. I would prefer to get into the Champions League by winning the Europa League because I think we need to win something at some point. It's like that should be, to me, the primary goal. And the secondary goal should be the league position. I remember when Arsenal were in that same situation with Emery, where he had the Europa League final or semifinals, and he prioritized the semifinals over the league game against Palace, and they lost out on top four. Of course, we know they historically went on to lose in disgraceful fashion to Chelsea. But I would like to see if we're ever in that kind of situation, please prioritize the cup. I don't mind losing in the final. I don't mind losing in the semifinal. Like, just try. This club historically has not tried. That's been the issue. We're playing kids in FA Cup. We're playing kids in Carabao Cup. We're getting out in the early stages. And to me, that's just, you're disrespecting the competition.
You just
Don't
said you
have
wanted to
anything
see
in your
kids.
cabinet.
You wanted to see kids in
No,
Europa League.
in the group stage. Come on. We know how it goes.
But yeah,
Europa League, once you secure qualification, usually you can roll out your kids. I mean, we're gonna be playing some really, really poor
But
teams.
remember, I think it's a new format now, though.
Yeah, that's why we're gonna be playing even more poor teams. Because usually you play the same poor team first and second leg, but now you might play 6 or 7 poor teams and then 2 or 3 good ones. So I don't know, but I like to see the kids. I'd also like to see us prioritize the competition as we get to the later stages.
And it's
Because I'm
even
assuming we're
better.
gonna
I
get
don't
out of
think
our group.
anybody drops down from Champions League, right? I think they changed that.
I've been hearing that. I haven't
They've
confirmed
changed that.
that.
I think they've changed that. Yeah,
So
no more of
that's even
that.
better.
Listen, if we don't win it now, like now we've seen Chelsea's not going to be in it. Who I feel like, okay, they probably have been like co-favorites. United, I don't know. I wouldn't say they have Europa League heritage. You know what I mean? They've won it, but like we should be one of the favorites, one of the 4 or 5 teams that are
But
favorites to
we
win
also
it.
need
So
to
we
look
have no
at
excuse.
don't limit yourself to look at the other teams in the other countries. So some good Italian teams might be there as well. I
Oh
don't
no, it's not going to be easy.
Of course.
Far from that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like we're going to be one of the favorites. We've seen Atalanta now go on. I mean, we all thought Liverpool were odds-on favorites, and we thought Leverkusen were odds-on favorites. So we know shocks and surprises can happen. But
Yeah.
I want to see us take it seriously and at least give it our best go. So my expectation would be semifinal minimum, Europa League, and top 4. But depending on the window, it might drop. I don't know.
Yeah. Just for Liverpool, I think it's expectations are it's pretty too early to
Yeah, it's too early, man. We still have a long summer, man.
Yeah, let's see
We
how
have a
the
long
signings
summer.
go.
We need to see some players in the market, Euros, see how they do. See Copa America as well.
Injuries as
Injuries
well.
and things like that. See,
like that. There's still we'll see how the coming weeks unfold anyways. Okay. So we're talking let's switch our attention as we move towards the end of the show. Let's switch our attention now to the tournament that is coming up shortly, very soon, in a few weeks' time. The European tournament, the Euros, is kicking off. I think it's just almost less than 2 weeks if I'm correct. There's the buzz is, so I'm currently in Edinburgh. There is a buzz. Scotland is just qualified for like their first major tournament in a while. When you go out, you can see the pubs, the flags. The fixture list is even out for all of Scotland's group games. So there's a buzz, right? But I want us to talk about England, right? England is always the team that everybody's always talking
everybody
about.
just talks about England and
Yeah, of course, like there's always that talk that, oh, this is England's best chance. The talent, the attacking talent especially. Even now, there's even the midfield debate, So it looks like England is stacked. Of course, I'm sure they're not going to be underestimating the other top teams as well, France, Portugal. I think Uzo has mentioned that Portugal is like a dark horse for him. There's also France. I'm not sure about the Netherlands and all that, but England, that's the team that everybody is looking at right now. And of course, based on their past performances from the previous major competitions as well, semi-finals, final. So you're looking like, okay, this might be the time for them to go on further. The Adams, I know you've always been, since I've known you, you've always had a soft spot for England. You're a Niger England boy, right? So that front line, like, I think my question to you then would be, what is the front three for you? That is where that front three is always like, what's your number? The front three.
Man, I haven't made up my mind, man. I haven't made up my mind.
Not made up your mind because I saw someone drop a comment like he has seen a lot of people giving their takes on who should be there. He said that why is it that I know this might not sit so with you, it's just funny. He said he has seen that many people are trying to accommodate Cole Palmer. Now, what has Cole Palmer actually really done to deserve a starter spot? Like fine, he has had a good season, but should that warrant him starting ahead of like those other guys who have been there in previous tournaments? What do you think?
What I would say to that, I hear that, man. I hear that.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't had a lot of experience playing for England, right?
Yes.
So I definitely understand that. But what I'll say is like, I think he just brings something different to the attack. That no, I don't think.
That guys don't.
Yeah, like, I don't
Everybody
think
can
the
bring.
rest of the guys can do is that, and that's not. It's not to say that the rest of the guys are bad or they're not good, but he's
course.
just different. Like there's a, and it's good to have like different options in attack, right? You have the guys that are more direct when you need them. You have guys that want the ball to fit, that like to find pockets of space, and he's that type of guy. I don't think they've really seen that mode of player in a while, and I think he should play. Obviously my Chelsea bias, and I think he should play, but I get it. Like you need chemistry, and Saka, Kane, and those guys have done it for a while. You need chemistry, and for him to just get thrust on like that in a major competition, it might be difficult. But I think they need to find how to, because his skill set is incredible, and I think England has been struggling with that role of a creator, like someone that can create. Because I see him as like that, guy that can drift in and create and open spaces for others, and is also a little bit of a maverick and score different type of goals too. And so I think they better find a way for him to play. But I also get people saying like he hasn't played in England very much. He needs time to understand, and the rest of the guys that have done it deserve another opportunity. I get that too.
So what's that? Just give your front three.
My front three, man.
Start like the first game.
The first game.
Of course,
I don't
Kane
know,
will
man.
be there, I know.
Definitely Harry Kane.
Kane and two other people.
Yeah, I think Saka needs to play too.
Oh, okay. Let's make it front four. Let's see, like.
And they dropped Rashford. Like,
I was about to even come to that.
yeah. My front four would have been. Yeah, Rashford is not going, obviously, but man, I think it's. I can't start with Grealish. Definitely can't start with Grealish. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just go for
tough one. Okay.
Yeah, it's just...
okay. So I think the options: Saka, Grealish, Palmer, Foden. I think is that pretty much okay. There's I think maybe Ivan Toney or Watkins and
Anthony Gordon, right?
Anthony Gordon as well. So it's stacked. It's stacked. But well, we can. I'm sure Adams, you wish Gareth Southgate all the best.
Man,
hopefully...
that's why he gets paid all the big bucks, man. So let him figure it out.
Well, for me, I'm sorry. I'm not wishing them. I'm not really a fan of England now. Scotland, that's where we are now. So we'll root for the Scotsmen, man. Andy Roberts, come on, you Scottish boys.
Scott McTominay can get some goals, oh.
Yes, now of course.
I know we've reached the end of the episode. Once Adams and Pius find a new rubbish thing to obsess over and smile and think of all the possibilities.
So coming. What
next week, who knows? You guys start supporting Asian Cup. Asian Cup, if you see the teams, go and look at the history of the teams that win it. You guys will be in love. Jordan, Qatar, all these kind of teams. Kuwait, India, Kazakhstan. That would be very good for you guys. That's what Pius likes. Pius just likes only underdogs. You should just win all the time.
Of course, I like that.
Because if you ever get into gambling, you will go broke fast. So you'll be seeing all those sweet odds to go and bet on Kieran McKenna to win Manager of the Year in Premier League next season. No, I like Portugal definitely. I think like I think saying dark horse is kind of disrespectful. I think they have one of probably the best 4 teams in the tournament. I think if we're looking at dark horses, I would probably back a team like Croatia. I think a lot of those players are getting to like their final tournament now, right? Like the guys like Modric, Perisic, and Rakitic, guys like that. I don't know if they all got called up, but I don't put it past them. They're a very good tournament team. We've seen that time and time again. So I don't put it past them to just do one more for the road. Just buckle down and just give us another beautiful tournament run. That would be my dark horse. But my favorites would be Portugal. I like Germany as well. I think with Nagelsmann at the helm, a lot of German players this season we've seen have been at the absolute top of their game. Wirtz, Musiala,
that's the thing.
Kai Havertz.
They will find a way. They will find a way to play all those guys, mind you.
Yeah.
He's going to find a way to play. That
Nagelsmann's a good coach.
Yeah, he's going to find a way to play, and that's what I think they need to do in England too.
Rudiger's probably been the best center back in the world this year. So, I mean, why not? Why can't it be Germany? Right? Sané has been back into form. I think they are a bit scary. And
they're hosting us.
If he's been watching Arteta, and I hate to really big up Arsenal like this, you play Kai Havertz as a 9 for Germany, you can open up a world of possibilities, because now every other position is taken care of. Kimmich, Rudiger, even this guy at Inter Milan who's had a beautiful season, Bisek, the young kid. Like they have a lot of options. So yeah, Germany is definitely a team that you should look out for. So Portugal, Germany, of course, France. We know what France are about. I think they took Conte again, so it might be his last. It might be his last hurrah, and you know what he's about. You know, I don't think that guy will ever actually age, in my opinion. I think it's just be injury. But I look at him like I used to look at all those old Kenyan uncles that I grew up with, like playing in Houston. They have lungs for days. They can 60 years old running. Like you get tired, they're still running. They don't care what. So I think Conte can have another one of those generational tournaments, but. For me, England's not really in my top 3 for the tournament. I don't think they're as good as people think. I look at that defense and I'm like, Pickford, Maguire. Like, how is this a favorite? What are we doing here? Pickford, Maguire, Stones, Ben Chilwell. Like, what are we doing?
No, Chilwell didn't get caught up. They took your guys, man. They took Walker and Trent.
Yeah,
your boys.
Those are not my guys. Since when are those my guys?
Bro, those are your boys. Like you always
just
been
said
defending them.
Rhys James. That's all. It's not. But it's not hard to defend a guy who never.
You have a fit Rhys James and
fit my ass. He's fit, but will he go and stomp on somebody's chest?
Huh?
I don't know. Will he go and stomp on somebody's chest and get sent off for the whole tournament? We don't know.
That happened. That happened one time, and then.
Yeah.
Like brother, like sister. That's what I'm gonna say. If you know, you know. If you know, you know, eh?
I think I agree with you. I think England. I think that defense is a bit. There's a lapse of concentration in there. You know.
Even their midfield, I don't think is as balanced as we would like. I mean, if you have Jude and Declan,
Bellingham,
who's that guy that's like, you know, I don't know. We'll see, because Bellingham looks like he's moved further up the pitch.
Bellingham has to kind of. Yeah, he can't play.
Madison.
It's weird. Like you have Madison, you have Bellingham, but it's like there's not enough balance. You know, I don't even think Madison is that good. Anyways, I'd rather play Foden or Palmer in the 10 for me. But like not that. But he hasn't been that good towards the end of the season. But I don't know. I look at them, and besides Kane and Jude, I'm just like, no name there makes me feel like, oh, this is a world beater team. Like when I go to France, I hear name. I don't think Saka's in that. We already had the world class debate, so let's not even go back to it. I don't think he's there yet. And it sounds wild. I don't even think Jude is fully world class yet until the end of this season. For me, go bring the Champions League. Then we look at the whole season. We're like, yeah, you're it. But he still has a lot to prove in that tournament for me. All of them do. So we'll see. But they did get to a final. I thought they got to probably the easiest route to a final that I've seen in the last tournament. Germany was not as good, and that was the only good team they played before the final. So we'll see. We'll see.
See how it goes.
I'm back in Portugal, man. That
Come on,
Portuguese
England.
team is stacked.
What do they do with Ronaldo though? Does he start?
If he's who we know he is, which is a selfish prick, of course he's gonna start. But for the benefit of the team, I don't think he should. I would probably go with Goncalo Ramos, although he hasn't had that good a season either. But I just think he would add more to the overall team, and I would like to see Ronaldo be more like a player coach coming in like last 30 minutes of the game kind of thing. But I don't know if he will do that.
I don't
mean, the
think
last time they won it, he coached. So
that was just one
Find
game.
out. Yeah. He goes to the final, right? Okay. Right. Guys, I think we've come to the end of the show. Thanks, guys. Thanks so much for coming. Thanks for having me
Having you.
after my after my long absence.
yeah,
Glad
the
to
guy
be
has
back.
used all his PTO for the year in one moment.
Yeah,
Glad to
man.
be
You
back.
can't take any more sick days or
You guys better get used to Pio's face, man. You're gonna see even when we're not here, he'll be here by himself. He'll do the
Oh
whole
yeah.
show.
I think this is going to be the episode before the Champions League final as well. So any surprises for you guys before we close it?
Nah, please don't. Now I'm on Uza's side, man. Don't let Madrid just win
No,
this
that
thing.
dogs.
Let's just wrap this thing up, man.
No, that dogs. No, that dog story.
No.
You're not even giving Dortmund a chance. Oh.
I think it's a big close game. It's a final. You know, they'll try, but I don't want to see any underdog, whatever. Let's let Madrid just win this thing. Let's wrap it up.
like
Wait, Adams, you're not the one
like
saying.
like Kinsierra, whatever. I don't know.
Adam-
I think Kinsierra is actually the
Who?
the 15-year-old birthday version. Real Madrid for 15.
I thought Adams, you're not the one who was I wrong. I thought you were the one that was
Yeah, it
saying
was
you
like
wanted Royce.
Michael Royce shoot.
Yeah,
But now, man,
sign out.
I had to rethink. Because some people will be cooking some nasty agendas if Dortmund wins. I'm not ready to. I don't want to live in that world. Please no.
I think if everything we know to be true about football holds true, it's not a contest. Like Dortmund are historical bottlers. Real Madrid are historical winners. This is their tournament. I don't know. I don't see any surprises. I just think like Real Madrid is not the same as PSG, where it's like all glitz and glamour. Like Real Madrid can go into the mud with you. You go low, they go lower. So I don't know. I think they can just win in a variety of ways, and they have a lot of match winners. I look at the Dortmund team. All that scoring from corner kicks. I don't know. I don't know if you're going to bring that to Real. Like I said, I think Rudiger has been arguably the best center back in the world this year. Just something about like his presence and his command. I know all of this is hurting Adams because they let him walk for free, but
Yeah, man.
we all make mistakes. but yeah, I don't know. I don't see any surprises. I think Real Madrid, unlike City, they take this final very seriously, and they're gonna be very locked into it. They have a chance to complete a nice double, a league double, league and Champions League double. That's a solid season, if I do say so myself. So yeah, I just think there'll be too much for them.
So I hope Dortmund surprises, shocks the world.
Of course.
Next week.
Of course.
Yeah.
Paris is going to claim that Klopp prepared the way.
I'm gonna cook that. I'll say
8 years ago.
This was coming. Oh my goodness, Adams.
Man, what people will
Definitely
cook if Dortmund wins.
It's definitely a world you don't want to live in if Dortmund wins.
We start hearing all those Arsenal fans come back and say Champions League does not mean anything. It doesn't mean you're the best. Bro.
Yeah.
Like I said, for the prestige of this tournament, and also for Ademola Alade.
Oh yeah, Pius, if you want that, you want to live in that world.
Let's
look in our player of the year style.
Oh, that's true.
I need Haller to have the biggest stinker of all time. I need him to miss wide open and miss.
He's not even going to play. That's the thing. I know he's not going to play.
All right, guys. It was nice. It's been nice, interesting episode. Thanks so much for Uzo. Thanks for taking our time as usual. Much appreciated. The Adams, as usual. Thanks, boss. Guys, so we've come to the end of the show. Please, do the needful, do the usuals. Please drop us a comment. What do you think? Please drop us your opinions as well. We want to hear from you, Manchester United fan. Ten Hag in or out? What do you think?
Ten Hag in, man. Please give him a chance.
Oh, and then
Teta finished 8th and won FA Cup, and he bounced back. Come on,
you know what?
Believe.
I wanted us to discuss, but we'll discuss that next week. Hopefully, when Chooks gets back. Manchester United and Arsenal, who had the better season. That is something that
I think we might have a debut from one of them Uzos guys that went to experience the win. The Manchester.
George.
Yeah, so that would be a nice.
It was live in the city end. That was very interesting. The guy couldn't even celebrate the goals properly, but yeah, that would be an interesting perspective.
Yeah, that would be a nice debate with Chooks next week. Okay, guys, thanks so much and see you soon.
Peace out.
Ten Hag in.